Okay, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to keep the wooden sword in Twilight Princess HD. So, the first thing you're going to want to do, well actually, first thing I'm going to start with is, this glitch is going to take quite a while to do. But as long as you're willing to spend all that time to get the wooden sword, or to keep it, more like it, but as long as you're willing to spend all that time to keep the wooden sword, then this is the right tutorial for you. So, to get started, all you're going to do is play the game completely normally up until you get to the entrance of Forest Temple where Tallow is, because he'll be stuck in a cage, and then there will be the two bokoblins. So literally, just play the game normally until you get there, where Tallow's stuck in front of the Forest Temple, between those two bokoblins. So I'm going to go ahead and get there, and then I'll cut to when I'm, actually there. Okay, so now you should be, at this point in the game, literally just play the game completely normal, and you should be, here. Once you get here, our next goal is going to be to kill these bokoblins. But do not break the cage yet, because we don't actually want to save Tallow right now. We don't that's our goal right now, is to we don't want to save Tallow. So just kill those bokoblins and don't save Tallow. And now what we're gonna do is go back to the area where you get the lantern. When you play the game normally, you pass by that lantern guy. Just what you're gonna do is just go back there. So I'll just start making my way back there. Okay, so this is where you want to be. So once you're over here with this little lantern guy, the second thing you want is you want Epona here. Now, she doesn't literally specifically have to be where she is right here. You just want her in this area. Here, I'll show you the gamepad mini-map. Okay, so all you want to do is just have Epona and Link in this area, and make sure this area is light blue. Now, if you're here and this area is light blue, like this, I mean, the glitch might still work. I don't really know, though. So just to be safe, stay in this area where I know the glitch works. So that's what you want to do. Have Epona and Link in this area. Okay, so once you have Link and Epona in this area, what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a glitch called fishing rod duping. And what that does is, I believe, it has something to do with, like, the game's memory or something like that. Where, like, you spawn in so many fishing rods that the game just can't load the next area. So what we're trying to do is we're going to dupe a bunch of fishing rods here, where Link and Epona are. And then we're going to be on Epona and ride her through this little area right here. And then once you've duped enough fishing rods, this whole area right here will not load. It will just be a white void. So that's what our goal is now. So with that being said, I will show you how to actually do the fishing rod dupe. So what you want to do is have your fishing rod on either X or R. Now, it doesn't really matter if you have it on X, R, or Y. It literally does not matter. The only reason I say keep it on X or R is because we're going to be pressing, we're going to be pulling out the fishing rod and pressing A to put it away. Or not A to put it away. A to get on Epona really fast. So if you have it on X, X is obviously close to A, and R, you can use your index finger to press it, and then thumb to press A. So that's why I recommend using X or R, but if you want to use Y, go ahead, doesn't matter. Anyway, so now here's what we're going to do. Like I said, you're going to pull out the fishing rod, and then, like, really quickly press A to get on Epona. And if you do it right, you'll see Link holding the fishing rod, like, downward. while he's riding Epona. It's pretty obvious to tell that you've done it. I forgot to mention, the more fishing rods you dupe, the slower the game gets. So not only does it take forever to dupe fishing rods, it also, the game literally just gets so laggy. So okay, so like right there, that was a failed attempt. I'm gonna put Epona back because I don't want her too close to that area. Alright. Oh yeah, I also recommend having Epona face where you're gonna be going, just because it's just easier to go that way if she's already facing that way. So pretty much, if you look at when Link pulls out the fishing rod, you can see he pulls his hands. You can see he pulls his hands like toward his hip, like right as he starts putting his hands toward his hip. Press A. That's what you're gonna do. So as you can see, that failed. Okay, so that was a successful attempt. As you saw, Link is now holding a fishing rod. It's pretty easy to tell you did it right. Now what I'm going to do is show you the I'm gonna show you my inputs that I'm gonna show you my inputs for a successful attempt of fishing rod duping. So I'm gonna do that now, so you can get a feel for like how fast you need to press X and A. Okay, so this is to give you a little, again, to give you like a reference how fast you need to press XA or RA. Well, if you do RA, then oh well. This is for XA only, I guess, so put that away, bro. So yeah, this is for XA only, I guess. Oh, look at the sun shining on my gamepad. Okay. Alright, that was a successful attempt. And I'll show you, alright, I'm going to show you another one that was not successful. And alright, that was another successful attempt. So hopefully you now have a good, hopefully you can kind of tell when to press X and A, hopefully. But anyways, I'm gonna put it back on the big screen so I can continue the video. Alright, I believe that showed my inputs good enough for rod duping, so I hope that sufficed. And again, that demonstration, I guess, was for if you put, fishing rod on X, because obviously I did that, so, I only showed you how to do it with X and A. So if you want to do it with YA and then or RA, be my guest. Here's how to actually tell if you've done a successful attempt. Because obviously, I was telling y'all if I was doing a successful or not attempt. So, obviously, the first dupe that the first fishing rod that you'll dupe, obviously, as you can tell, it's pretty easy to tell when you've done it correct. Because Link's normal, and then all of a sudden, there's a fishing rod. He has a fishing rod while on Epona. So, that's pretty obvious. It's pretty easy to tell. But, the second ones, it's not really hard, but it's not as easy, but it's still not hard. So if you look at when Link gets onto Epona, you'll notice that like the fishing rod kind of goes behind Epona. He like kind of throws it behind him. So I'll do that. See, you can kind of see how it goes to the left and to the right and then back down to the left. When you get on Epona, you'll see as Link like kind of throws that fishing rod to the left, or like kind of swings it from the right back to the left, you'll see two fishing rods. You'll see like two lines, and yeah, like you'll literally see two fishing rods and two lines as he's swinging it around. And then, but once he like gets it back to normal, like how it is right now, they'll fuse together. So you'll only be able to tell if you did a successful attempt as he's hopping on Epona. So if you don't notice, like if you don't look quick enough, then you won't notice. So I'll let y'all try to look at it. I'll give y'all like 2 attempts with it, like, normal speed with a successful attempt to show y'all, or so that way y'all can know what to look at. I can't speak, bro. Alright, so that was not successful. So if you saw it, there was only one fishing rod there. Okay, that one was also not successful. Again, only one fishing rod. One fishing rod, so not successful. Come on now, give me two. Alright, there you go. I saw two fishing rods. Hopefully y'all were able to discern two fishing rods. Now, I'll show you one more time so you can see what that looks like, you know, at fast speed. Don't make me cut the video again. Alright, that was successful. I saw two. Hopefully y'all did. Okay. Okay, and here's an example of a successful fishing rod dupe that is very, very slowed down. So as Link hops on Epona, make sure to look at the lines on the fishing rods. And now you should be able to clearly see that there are two lines to the fishing rods. So there's a very, very slowed down example of what a successful fishing rod dupe looks like. And yeah. Now, I'm going to actually tell y'all how many fishing rods you need to dupe. So, here's the thing. You need to dupe around, I was told, around 200 to 240 fishing rods. Now, this is why I said it's going to take a while, because it really does take a long time to dupe these fishing rods. So, yeah, it takes a while. Anyhow, so what I was going with that is I was told 200 to 400 or 200 to 240 fishing rods, and then that area will not load. Now, I think I tested 200 fishing rods, and then I checked and it did still load. So, I mean, you can check anywhere. So once you get to 200 fishing rods, you can, you can go ahead and check every other one you do and keep checking, or every 10, go back and forth and check to see if it's unloaded or not. But what I'd recommend is just go ahead and dupe 240, because I know as a fact 240 works. So that's what your goal is to do now, is to do 240 fishing rods. So I'm gonna cut the video, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I guess I'll see y'all then. Okay, so I've duped enough fishing rods, and now it is time to continue with the guide. So first things first, the game is very laggy, so yeah, it's gonna be very slow. I'm gonna start going now, and as you can see, I'm trying to move, and it's very slow. Again, as you can see, the game's very, very slow. Like, yeah. And also, it takes forever to dupe those fishing rods. Now, as you can see, instead of this whole area that's supposed to load, it's just a white void. So now what our goal is we're going to just run this way. So as you can see right there, what that is, that little like black snake thing, it's the cave that leads to well, the cave, I guess. It's the cave entrance. Anyways, so that's the gate with the Deku Baba. and there's the cave entrance. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in between the gate and the cave entrance. That's where we're going to go. So before, actually, I'm going to keep making my way over there, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say, be careful around this cave entrance, because if you hit the loading zone for the cave, your game is going to crash. It's either going to crash, or two things are going to happen. If you're out of bounds, the game's going to crash. If you manage to get back in bounds, which I don't see how that's... The point is, the game's either going to crash, or you're going to be loading indefinitely. So just don't hit the loading zone. And another thing is, close to this gate is there's an invisible like barrier that if you hit it, it'll cause Epona to like stop and then walk backwards a little bit. So I don't know if you really need to be careful around that like barrier or not, but I was told to be careful around it as well as the loading zone. So just, I don't know, I guess just be careful around it. But I've hit it like twice, and I mean, all Epona did was just back up, so it didn't really break anything. But anyhow, you're just going to walk carefully in between here. Try not to hit the loading zone, which it is pretty far up the cave. It's not like... So you're good. You're safe. But what our goal now is to get Epona under the ground. That's what we want. We're not under the ground, like kind of clipped into the ground. Because what we're going to do is we're going to save once we get to a certain spot. Okay, so pretty much you just want to be... Sorry for the cut, by the way. But you pretty much want to be around here. As you can see, I hit the barrier because Epona is now walking back. So I guess it's really not that detrimental to hit or whatever, but... Around where this Deku Baba is where we want to be. Okay, Epona, you can quit backing up. Okay, so... I will say, be very, very careful around this entrance of the cave, because if Epona hikes up on her back legs, if you're somewhere around the entrance of the cave, if Epona hikes up on her back legs, she can like hike up and then actually like get onto the ground, like she'll clip up back in bounds, and that is exactly the opposite of what we want. We do not want her to be able to do that. So first off, I cannot see. There we go, that's much better. So, you want to be around here. Is it right where you want to be? It's past the entrance of the cave, you're not really in it. But, hold on, I'm trying to move slightly closer, if it'll let me. Okay, here we go. There we go. Kind of have to coax it a little bit, but about right here is where we want to be. So, once you get here, you can save your game. Very, very simple. I'm going to overwrite 2 save files, though, because I just am. You don't have to, though. You can just save it to slot 3 if you wanted to, or any, it doesn't matter. Point is, save the game. It doesn't matter to which log or how many, but I just want it on 2, or on 2 and 3. Okay, so once you've saved, continue playing, just click no. Very simple, just click no. Okay, now the game, no longer laggy, thank you. So now load your save file that you made, and you should end up in the forest. Here you go, so you should end up here. If not, I don't know how. But now what we're going to do is, hopefully, if you put Epona in the right spot, she should stay out of bounds. So, I don't think I really explained it good, but I'll explain it a little bit more. But, point is, what we want is we want Epona to be out of bounds, like on that out of bounds floor, because like she's out of bounds like at a lower level than the actual floor. What that means is, since she's clipped through the floor but not in bounds, we can hop on Epona from in bounds and then ride out of bounds. as you can see, Epona, she hikes up on her back legs, but she does not go out of bounds. But since the game's not laggy anymore, I'll actually show you what happens if you're too close to the entrance. But I'll show you what happens if you're too close to the entrance of the cave and Epona hikes up. So this is what'll happen. If you're too close to the entrance and she hikes up, or gets scared, boom, this is what happens. You see? Now she's in bounds. You do not want this. You do not want this, because now Epona, she's just stuck here. So that isn't what we don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, back to when I get back to where I need to be. Get on Epona. And now we go out of bounds. Okay. So now, where we want to go is all the way to the Hyrule entrance, which this leads to Hyrule. So we do not want to hit the loading zone to Hyrule, though. We just want to get on the floor. That's all we want to do, is get on the floor to Hyrule. Okay, so now we're on the ground. That's what we want to do, is we want to get on this ground. Come on, Epona. And then just walk up. Make sure you're actually on the ground too. Because like if you're not close enough. Okay, so look, I'll show you. This ground, look, this ground is not solid. As you can see, Epona's feet are clipping through it, but if you get close enough, this is where, okay, where Epona's shadow stops, that's where it becomes fake ground. It no longer has collision. You want to actually be on the ground that has collision. Because if you go far enough, it no longer has any more collision. Okay. So the point is, you just want to hit that floor's collision and then walk off. Now what you're going to do is you walk all the way over here, past this tree, again, avoiding the loading zone to Hyrule. And then, once you get over here, you're going to hike up Epona, and then she should hop up here. Okay. So now, you'll see this tree. You'll see this tree. You're going to go a little bit past this tree. Now, you'll see this tree. You're going to go past it. Alright, so now, you'll see in between... Okay, so now you'll see this tree. You'll see this tree right here. And then, you're going to see right here in the wall. You're just going to walk right where that part of the tree clips into the wall. You just walk off right there. And now, what we're going to do is, first off, that should put you at the perfect height for what we're about to do next. But now what we're going to do is we're going to walk all the way to the entrance of Faron. Or Forest Temple. That's what it's called, Forest Temple. So it's very easy. The movements I'm making, they're not like, they're literally no... there's nothing. It's literally just running straight to the entrance of Forest Temple. So you can see on the mini-map, at least you should be able to. It's a little cut off by my Wii, but you can still see it a little bit. Sorry for my stupid recording, but anyhow, you just run straight. It's very simple. I recommend actually like zooming in the mini map too, so you can see. And pretty much you just want to be about here. Doesn't really matter, because this is the entrance to Forest Temple. Because like that's the actual loading zone to Forest Temple. That's like the little entrance in front of it. But anyways, you just want to be right here. That's good. Sorry, let me get that set up again. Once you think you're in the right spot, press A to dismount. It's very simple. And now what we're going to do is we're going to walk all the way to the Forest Temple entrance. So hopefully you put Epona in the right spot. I'll show you what, Epona in the right spot looks like. But anyhow, point is, hopefully you put Epona in the right spot. Okay, So, opponent should hopefully, at this point, be out of bounds, but you can still get on her. So, if you cannot get on opponent, if she's too high, or if she's too far down, so you can't get on her, so like you just don't see her, then all you gotta do, it's very simple, reload your save, re-get opponent here, and then hopefully she'll be in a better spot. And if opponent is completely on this ground, she is no longer out of bounds, that also means you need to reset. But hopefully opponent is in the right spot. Hopefully you can get on her, but she's still out of bounds. So as long as she is out of bounds and you can still get on her, it should be safe to save. So I'm gonna save. Oh, I didn't mean to click manual. So it should be safe to save now, hopefully. So that's not saved. So now this is very crucial. Make sure to mount opponent from the right side. That's very important. Make sure to mount opponent from the right side. So right there, what I just did, just kind of fiddle your way around there, and you should be able to clip your way out of bounds right there. Anyways, so now we're just going to run all the way to pretty much the entrance of like this area. So just run out of bounds pretty much. But yeah. Okay, so now we're getting close. Oh, overspurred opponent, I suppose. Okay. So pretty much what we want to do is we want to get to right here. So you can see this pretty big tree right here. We're just going to get beside it, and then we're just going to kick up opponent. So just hold back on the joystick, and that'll cause opponent to kind of kick up on her hind legs. Then what we're going to do is, hold on. So here's the big tree. There's this tree right here. We're gonna walk right past it. Just keep walking until the camera's past it. Okay, so now we're gonna turn to the left, walk up, and then keep kind of turning to the left, following. It's very, very hard to see, but you're just gonna keep turning to the left and follow kind of this. So if you look on the mini map, you should be able to. Well, it's very hard to see the mini-map. If you look on the mini-map, you should be around here. Right, around right there is where you should be. And then what you're going to do is you should be at this little, like, crease in the texture here, or whatever that is, the trees. Whatever that is, texture, trees, or whatever they are. And now we're going to run all the way back to the, where we clipped out of bounds. And my movements to that spot that we just exited from don't really matter as long as you kind of get there. But these movements, they're not anything precise. Just kind of make sure you don't go too, here, I'll show you. Make sure, before you start trying to make your way to the entrance, that you clip past this wooden wall. So this wooden wall right here, I'm pretty sure, like, the past few times I tried to get into Fern Woods, or into the Forest Temple, like, if I was too close, I would, opponent dropped down. So just make sure you're past this wooden wall, and then opponent shouldn't drop down. Now, I don't know if you can get closer without her dropping down. I don't really know, but if you just do what I did, go past that wooden wall, then you should be good. You shouldn't, opponent shouldn't, drop any. She should just be here. So now, you're gonna go through here, Now, here's where you need to be careful. So, if you go over this floor, right here that leads to the Forest Temple, opponent will drop down to the floor, because like anytime you're over valid flooring, instead of hovering, she like drops down to that valid floor. And then what'll happen is you'll hit that valid floor, and then you'll walk into the Forest Temple, which sounds like, yes, that's what we want. Except no, because when you're riding Epona, the game does not like that, and it doesn't crash, which I think the game only crashes if you're out of bounds and then hit the loading zone while on Epona. Or maybe it's just trying to go from the loading zone out of bounds. I don't know. Point is, the game doesn't crash, it just does not ever load. It just fades to black and stays black forever. So anyways, what we're going to do is, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so just be very, very careful not to drop Epona down onto that floor and kind of get her. Ooh, okay, that should be good. About right. Just kind of get her about to where I have her. Like this. Because what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to jump slash. Or we're going to want to exit Epona and then press B to jump slash. That's what our goal is. So once you're about here, should be good. You're just going to dismount. And the reason we want Link to go on the right side is just so he'll jump slash toward the thing. So just press A and then just spam B. And then, there you go. Okay, so you should finally be in the Forest Temple. If that's the case, you're finally in Forest Temple before saving Tallow, then you can save your game, which you don't have to, but obviously, why wouldn't you want to? But, I mean, if you don't want to save your game, then you do you. But anyways, next up on our agenda is we want to get Uku, or however you pronounce it. Point is, we're trying to get that thing that teleports you out the dungeon. So just play the dungeon up until you get Uku, which is very, very simple. Okay. Are you dead? No, not dead. Okay, finally dead. Okay. So just go this way, watch this cutscene, or skip it, doesn't really matter. Okay, so now, all we have to do is just go to the room and get Uku. So just go here, go to the left. And now, we are at our destination. So now just grab the bomb, and then just use it to blow up the wall. And now we can get Uku. Or, again, however you pronounce it, I don't really know. Alright, so now once you've made it here, there are two different things you can do. You can, you have two choices. You can either, continue the dungeon like normal, all the way up until you get the Gale Boomerang, because our next goal is to get the Gale Boomerang. So you could either do that, or you could, do a glitch to get the Gale Boomerang early. So, if you just want to continue the dungeon like normal, and then get the Gale Boomerang like normal, then I'll put a timestamp on the screen. It hopefully should be on screen right now. Just skip to that, and then, you know, yeah, just skip to that. But if you actually want to see how to do the Gale Boomerang early trick, then I'm going to be showing that, so just keep watching. So, for those of you that stayed to do the early Gale Boomerang trick, it's relatively easy, thankfully. All you gotta do is go up here. This next glitch is relatively easy. You just want to stand about right here. And then what you're going to do is once the platform starts turning again, shortly after it starts turning, you're going to walk forward. And then you should clip into the side of it. So just wait for it to turn. It starts to turn, and then hold forward. And then as you can see, I clipped into the middle of it. Or not the middle of it, the side of it. Now you just want to walk to the middle, and then face to the right. Alright, now make sure to pull out your sword. And now we just wait for these to turn again. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is just walk forward and then jump slash. Now don't jump slash instantly after you walk forward. Kind of wait a minute to jump slash. Because if you jump slash too soon, you won't make it. So just kind of have a little bit of time in between walking forward and then pressing B. And then, alright, just like that, you should get it. Now what we're going to want to do is hurry up and get down here so we don't have to wait another cycle. Stand about right here. And then now what we're going to want to do is as this platform to the right starts turning, we're going to side hop onto it. So, it shouldn't be too hard. Alright, there you go, side hopped onto it. Low key, I didn't even think I was going to make that one. But I did. I actually thought I was going to fall on that one. But, now, here's the Gale Boomerang. So, it's relatively easy. Just do the Gale Boomerang like normal. Or get it like normal. Or fight the boss like normal. And then, I'll cut to after I've fought the boss. Okay, so now you should have the Gale Boomerang. So, welcome back to any of you who decided to do the dungeon like normal. You know, if anybody at all decided to. But, now you should have the Gale Boomerang. So now, all you have to do is use Uku to get out. So now we just need to use Uku to get out. Or again, however you pronounce it. Alright. So now I just gotta do this. Alright. Okay. So now, we're going back to the entrance of the dungeon. So now that we are outside the dungeon and we have the Gale Boomerang, now what we can do is save Tallow. We can finally save Tallow after all this time. So just skip through all this dialogue or read it, doesn't matter. Alright, so now what you do is very simple. Just now what we're gonna do is just play the game normally up until you get to, you know, Link's house, which is literally just herd these goats and then walk to Link's house. So I'll just go ahead and cut to when I'm done herding these goats, so that way y'all don't have to watch it. Alright, done herding the goats. Now all we gotta do is make it back to Link's house. So it's very, very simple. Just walk to Link's house. Alright, so here's the next part that we're gonna do. So if you want to save here, you can. You don't have to, but I'm gonna go ahead and save here. Alright, so as you can see, if you try to go into the forest, the kids, they try to take your sword. See, let me borrow that wooden sword. And then you have to say yes to pass. Well, that's what we're finna do, is bypass it. So, what you're gonna do is get up on Link's house. Now, you're gonna pull the camera all the way back. And then you're gonna hold down the left trigger. So that way it like zooms in. So you're gonna target, pretty much what you're gonna do. So you're gonna target, just facing around this general direction, doesn't really matter. It's not too specific. And then what you're gonna wanna do is back up until the very bottom of Link's pants is just barely touching the grass. So kind of like this. So then once it's like that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into first person, and then I'm gonna circle it on screen what you need to be looking for. But there's a certain white spot on the tree that you're gonna look at, and then you're gonna just it should be circled on screen, so you're gonna look at that part right there, and then you're gonna just barely cover it up from the right side of the screen, about right there, and then exit first person mode. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna target again, and then if you have the correct angle, all you'll have to do is if you have the correct angle, if you hold left, or if you hold right on the left joystick and then start spamming A, Link will start side hopping backwards. Like he'll side hop to the right, but he'll slide backwards. So that's what you want to do, is hold right and then spam A to side hop. And then so you can see I failed there. Alright, so now here is a successful attempt of it. You know, again, target, kind of line Link's pants up. Use that little white dot, kind of barely push it off screen, and then side hop to the right. Just keep spamming A, and as long as you have the right angle, then you should make it onto this little area. And once you're on here, that's what you want. There you go, that was a successful attempt, and now we are up here. This is where we want to be, up here. So now what you're going to do, once you have done that, is you're going to use the boomerang. You're going to aim it at this tree right here. You can see there's this tree, you can see this little vine hanging down, and then there's this vine farther back that's in front of this little tree. You're going to aim to the right of this tree, and then what you're going to want to do is just kind of hold about to right here, and then just kind of spam ZR to lock on, and then slowly go down until it actually starts locking on. Once it starts locking on, what you're going to do is throw the boomerang, and then you're going to spam B to get Link to pull out his sword as fast as possible. And then, once Link pulls out his sword, you're going to press A. So this is what it looks like. You're going to have all these targets, let go of the boomerang, spam B till Link pulls out his sword. Then you're just going to press A to jump attack. And then, if you've done it correctly, you should be back here now. So now I'll just roll all the way over to here. And then just kind of get relatively close to the edge here. You don't have to be that close, but just kind of helps. Alright, that should be good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to aim at this tree now. So you can see there's this tree and then this tree. It's very simple. And then just aim really high up and spam ZR. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. Just let go of the boomerang, let it fly for us, or let go of the boomerang, spam B for Link to pull out his sword. And then once he pulls out his sword, you can just press A to jump slash. So do this, spam B, Link has his sword out now, and then you can just press A. It's very simple. And now, he's over here. Now, all you have to do is just walk past that loading zone. Or not loading zone, that like little trigger. So you can just walk past it, and then straight into the loading zone. And now, we're past the kids with the wooden sword. But, we're not done yet. So you may think, oh, we have the wooden sword now, that's it. That's actually not it, because there's still one more glitch we have to do. The glitch is called Sword and Shield Skip, and it's, you know, named very well because what it does is it skips the Ordon Sword and Ordon Shield. Now, you don't have to skip the Ordon Shield if you don't want to. Like, if you want to get the shield, you can. It's just called Sword and Shield Skip because you can skip both the sword and the shield. But the reason we need to do Sword and Shield Skip is because even if you keep the wooden sword past those kids, getting the Ordon sword, even if it's still in your inventory, it's just going to override it anyway. So whether it's not in your inventory or it is in your inventory, it's just going to get overwritten by the Ordon sword. So what we need to do is skip getting the Ordon sword so that way it doesn't overwrite our wooden sword. So that's what we're going to do next, is Sword and Shield Skip. So, you're just going to continue the story. So you're going to go into this little thing, this little hole. And then you'll trigger the cutscene, and you can either watch it, skip it, it doesn't matter. You should now be Wolf-Link. So, but okay, so you should now be Wolf-Link. Now, don't be alarmed. As you can tell, or as you can see, Wolf-Link has the Ordon sword on his back. Don't be alarmed though. Even though it shows the Ordon sword on Wolf-Link's back, if you go to the collection/save page, you can see that I still have the wooden sword. So even though it shows the Ordon sword on Wolf-Link's back, you still have the wooden sword. So now what we're going to do is hold on. Let me wait for this and then I'll continue. Alright, now that that's done, let me continue. So, you're going to just continue playing the game as normal, all the way up until, Midna takes you back to the light world. So you'll end up going through all these, these sewers, go up to Hyrule Castle, talk to Zelda, and then, you'll leave Hyrule Castle, and then Midna will end up taking you back to the light world. So, yeah, that's where you want to be, so I'll cut to when I'm back in the light world. Alright, so now, I'm back in the light world. So, now, when we do Sword and Shield skip, there's one thing that we need to do Sword and Shield skip, and it is this Bokoblin right here. This Bokoblin, do not kill it. We need that Bokoblin. If you kill it, it does not respawn. So, make sure to save while that Bokoblin's still alive. So that way, if you accidentally kill him, you have your save to go back to. Again, you have two options. You can either do Sword and Shield skip, which and skip the Sword and Shield. So if you do want to skip both Sword and Shield, then I'll put a timestamp on screen. So then that way you can go ahead and go to that part of the video to continue the glitch. But if you're like me and want to get the shield, then just don't skip ahead and keep watching. So, for those of you that want to get the shield as well, you're going to just get it like normal. It's very, very simple. You're just going to go in the house and get the shield. So, I'll just do that. Alright, now we're in the house. So now, just grab the shield like normal. So you just walk up here. Oh, press it too early. What? Come on now, Minda, let me up. There we go. Alright, and now we have the shield. So we're just gonna walk back from where we came from. Alright, welcome back. The people that do not want to get the Ordon shield, welcome back. Now, what our goal is to do is to get this Bokoblin all the way to the Twilight defense. So just carry him, or not carry him, but walk him. Okay, so before I continue with this, I'm going to explain Sword and Shield Skip just a little bit more. So if you walk too far, or if you walk too close to the Twilight Realm, or a little area, obviously the game wants you to get both the sword and the shield. And obviously it looks like we have both of those, but for some reason the game, well, not for some, the point is the game doesn't count the wooden sword as having a sword. So since we don't have the Ordon sword, the game just says you don't have a sword at all. So even though it looks like we have the Ordon sword, we still have to do Sword and Shield Skip. But anyways, what our goal is we're trying to get to that Twilight area thing. As you can see, that black and orange wall, we're trying to get there without the sword and shield. The trigger that causes this text box that tells, or that where Midna says, hey, you need to get sword and shield, and then it pushes you back. If you can actually go past this trigger and then end up in the trigger for Midna to scoop you into the Twilight. So that's what we're going to do. So you're going to get this bokoblin about as close as you can get to the entrance. Or not to the entrance, but to this like little trigger. And I couldn't really find a guide on YouTube for like a very precise way to set this glitch up. So really you're just going to have to kind of eyeball it like I do. Because like I said, I couldn't find a guide on YouTube for Sword and Shield Skip on HD precisely. So if you can find a better guide for Sword and Shield Skip on HD, then feel free to use it instead. So look, if you don't feel like I do a good enough job at explaining Sword and Shield Skip, then what you can do is just know that Sword and Shield Skip is the last glitch you need to do. If you can get into the Twilight and without picking up the Ordon sword, then you will have you will have the wooden sword for the rest of the game at that point. You will have successfully kept the wooden sword in Twilight Princess HD. So with all that being said, if you don't feel like I explain Sword and Shield Skip good enough, then you can look on your own on YouTube for another guide for Sword and Shield Skip on HD. And then you can do that, and then after that you'll know, hey, I'm done now. But anyways, if you want to stay here, then just kind of watch me eyeball it then. So you're just going to kind of push this guy. It's very annoying, but you're just going to kind of push this guy to the back. Okay, so then once you think you have the bokoblin in the right position, you're going to, oh, and by the way, keep the target held the entire time. It's very important. So you're going to wait for the bokoblin to attack, and when they go to attack, you're going to backwards hop, and then once you hit the ground after the backwards hop, you're going to press A to do a jump attack, and then once you hit the ground again to do a jump attack, or once you hit the ground after the jump attack, you're gonna press A again, and then you should jump attack again, and you should hop over the loading zone. So let's see if I got it here. No, I didn't. So as you can see, I didn't because I got this text box. So if you're like me and you fail, you can only hit this bokoblin one time. And if you hit it a second time, it will die. So to fix that, all you gotta do is just fall off the map, and that will reset its health, so you have another go. And as you can see, we only have 3 hearts. But it's very simple. There's some, to avoid dying, there's you can go over here and dig these up for hearts if you know, to avoid dying. So we're gonna drag this guy over to the area, which I will cut this part out so that way you don't have to watch this. All right. Now we're just gonna try to line them up again. It's very annoying to get hit by this stupid bokoblin. Very, very annoying. It didn't work, so it was a fail. So I'm gonna jump off again. And now I'll cut to an actual successful attempt. Alright, so as you can see, that was a successful attempt. So, that's what should happen if you do a successful sword and shield skip. Now, what you do is you can just talk to Midna and make sure to say yes. No, after all that time. Oh, no, I want to click no. But no, click yes. You can see the bokoblin messing around. And then Midna will take you into the Twilight. So, here is the thing. If you have successfully done sword and shield skip, you now have the wooden sword. You should have the wooden sword forever now. From this point on, you can just continue playing the game like normal, and you won't lose the wooden sword. Because because the only two things that take your sword, the only two things that can take away the wooden sword are obviously the children, because they take it out of your inventory, and the Ordon sword, which overwrites the wooden sword, if you still have it, via glitching. So, now that we've skipped them taking it, or we skipped the children taking it, and skipped getting the Ordon sword, if you look in the collection, you can see, I still have the wooden sword. So, yeah, at this point, you're pretty much done. If you want to click off the video now, I guess you can. But I'm gonna go ahead and clear the Twilight of this area, and then I'll make some like closing remarks once I'm back to normal Link. Alright, and now as you can see, I am Link with the Ordon shield and the wooden sword. So that's it. That's the tutorial. That is how you keep the wooden sword in Twilight Princess HD. So, if you found the tutorial helpful, consider leaving a like. You don't have to, but I'd appreciate if you would. And, that's it.